Hello and welcome to the show. This is Restream team. I'm Anya with Restream Marketing, and today with me is Charles with our video production.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, good evening, wherever you guys are watching us from. Let us know where that is. Today is a very special show. Today we are focusing on your questions. It's Ask Me Anything, and we literally mean anything. You can ask questions. I know people had personal questions for us for a long time. People have Restream questions. People have questions about content, marketing, how to promote your channel. Anything goes today. Our goal is to take 100 questions from the chat. So make sure you serve us those 100 questions. And in the second part of the show, we also would love to invite you on the stage. So we do have a segment where we will drop the guest link in the chat, and we will invite you to come in and ask your questions with your camera on to the whole Restream channels. Right. So be ready for that. This is what we are doing today. Pretty unusual format. Stresses a lot of our producers because, people are going to start showing up. Who knows how their audio is going to look like? Who knows what they're going to show us on camera? But we are ready. We are brave. So yeah, first let us know where
can happen. It's going to be fun.
I have ideas, but that might be that might be something interesting. We're live on a lot of channels today, over 10 actually. Lots of teammates are pairing. We're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, X, Instagram, TikTok. Instagram people, I see you. I actually do see your questions. So if you want to ask us anything on Instagram, I will be also checking that, and I can pull questions from there. So without further ado, very quickly, if you're not yet subscribed to Restream channel, please do that. We are growing our channel very proactively. We really need your subscriptions because that shows us that all this stuff that we're creating, all this content, all this love is not in vain. Seeing our subscribers grow is the best way to show us that this show is useful, and that's what will continue fueling us and will keep us going. So make sure you let us know that you love us by subscribing. And if you're watching on some other channel like LinkedIn or X, please be sure to give us a follow. Chat is on. Let's have a look who is checking in today. We have some questions that actually were submitted already before we even started the show. How can I go live on my phone? We will definitely cover that. Hola amigos, Atlanta representing. Hello, Internet Tour Guide. Hi, Charles and Anya. Danger Zone is here. Please stay for at least 30 minutes. I would love for you to join us live because you've
Danger Zone. You gotta jump in.
You have such a great setup and you're such a frequent. So please make sure that you stay because I would love to pull you in. There's more Atlanta, Georgia from Call Our Guide. Is that the same Internet Tour Guide? Yeah, two tour guides. Is that the same guide? If not, because it's also Atlanta, right? Could that be a coincidence?
So we got an Internet Tour Guide.
And
Tour Guide.
Exactly, both from Atlanta, Georgia. If you're different people, you should definitely join this video because we want to make sure we see that in real time. Hello from North Carolina, says Becca. Hi there. Hello from beautiful Austin, from Really Fantastic. Good morning from Portland, Oregon. Hello from Pakistan. Good to see you guys. That's awesome. And of course, hello from Circuitverse, Circuit FM. That's awesome. We want to see you too because I know you have a great setup as well. I checked your channels, guys. I checked the channels of people who are, same story. Hope Dimensions says, call the tour guide. So it is the same person. That is great. Hello from Hungary. Love Reddings, California. That's wonderful. Wow. This is interesting. Greetings from Fish Family. All the locals and the usuals are here. So yeah, just once again, for those who are just joining, today is Ask Me Anything. The whole show has no agenda at all. We only want to answer your questions. We will call them one after another. And we will start with just chats, like questions that you post in the chat. And after that, we will have a little opportunity for you to join with video. So our goal is to reach 100 questions. So make sure you start asking. We take questions about literally anything. It can be technical. It can be about marketing and promotion. It can be about Restream, new features, old features, literally anything you want to know. And after about 30 minutes, we will see you here live. We do have about 7 spots in our guest queue. So once we drop that link, our moderator, Grant, will drop that link for you today, and you can just click it, and then you can join. That is the idea. So I am going to go ahead and start our session since we did a little bit of preamble already. We're also live clipping today, by the way. So if you are interested in seeing how Restream clips look, the best way to check it out is to just give us another 15 minutes and we will start posting them live, the real highlights of the show that is still happening. Alrighty.
Not a tremendous amount for us to clip just yet.
Yeah, exactly. Not a tremendous amount. All right. So I see a few questions. Let's take this one first. My Glorious Church says, I'm from Miami. I use 2 OBS bot cameras at the church, and I fight with the OBS as my switcher. Would you look at setting up a video switcher in studio? Charles, that's you. You're the OBS guy.
It's a tricky one. Yeah, it's a tricky one. I know what you mean. I know what it depends on how many cameras, I think. If you are, so OBS is pretty good for that. You have the studio mode, which is an interesting, software solution. A hardware solution would be by far the simplest. Something like the Blackmagic Mini A10 for HDMI sources. I used to use the giant live switcher. That means the beauty of having a hardware solution is, of course, you only have one source coming into your system. The negative to that is that you only have one source going into your system, so you can't record ISOs or independent streams of each camera. But if it's a church service, it's a good chance you don't need isolated recordings. So, we do have our preview edit mode being released very shortly, which will do a similar thing. So you can have a camera per scene if need be, and then switch between those. You can do that now as it is, but with the preview mode means you can just check it out first and make sure that camera's lined up. If you're in a church, there's a good chance that you have PTZ cameras, pan, tilt, zoom cameras, which are robotic cameras that you control with a little, joystick. So it's possible in the studio. It happens. It works. We do it. Actually, we've done it previously with, maybe an overhead camera or something like that.
Yeah.
But I honestly, hardware solutions for this tend to be a bit more robust.
Yeah. I can probably try to demonstrate it. I'm just going to create a new scene for cameras, and we're just going to potentially add. I cannot edit it in the edit mode, so I will have to just actually go for it in real time.
Yeah, do it.
But I can.
I was going to see whether I could make my own camera as well.
Add this camera, and here we go. So this is another little me, right? And so basically you can switch it from, and then you can unassign this camera from this other scene.
Is the phone wireless right now?
I actually think it's just taking my laptop FaceTime. It's not the phone here. But yeah, we can always just assign. So because we have scene assignments for specific, so I can say, hey, I only want this on the new scene right here. So, and that's basically how I switch, right? Like, so the camera, this little guy is only assigned to this specific scene, and my normal scene does not have that camera in, so I'm actually looking at my real camera. So that's how you can switch by assigning specific cameras to specific scenes.
So you could actually make it so that it's only you on that second scene, and then
or different angle, or like you're maybe like a wider angle, like if that's a service, like maybe you want to show the whole venue versus just focusing on the speaker. So yeah, that's how you would do that.
That is, of course, switching video and audio. So what you would need to do is create your audio have it as a separate source that ran throughout.
Absolutely. Lots of great questions today. I am so happy to see them. One is actually from our product manager, Romario. He said, I hope you have a widget counter for the questions. I wish you said that earlier. Because it's a great idea.
We'll put it in.
Send it over. Maybe we can build something on the fly. I don't know if our co-producer is in the mood for doing something like that.
Come on, vibe code that. Let's do it.
Let's vibe code it. But actually what I was going to use is just the pin chat feature. So every question that I am going to take, or every question that we will consider as a question, right? We will pin it, and then I will see how many pin chats I got. And after the end of the show, we will use Ask AI in Restream Analytics to ask them how many questions did we get and how many questions did we answer. So those would be the ways for us to understand if we did reach our goal indeed. But that's a great idea. The live widget will be awesome. Right now, as I am seeing, we are at 7 questions, so we have a lot to go. So keep
Does that
bringing.
count as a question? I would say
Yes.
that's a question.
That's a question. Yeah, that's a question. Like it's a fun way to ask it, but absolutely yes, absolutely. Can I go live with my iPhone? Yes, you absolutely can. It is a little bit more tedious than to go live from a desktop. The experience is better if you're using a laptop or a computer, but you can absolutely log into your Restream account and start Studio. Most of the features are still there. It's just a little bit more difficult because your screen is smaller and all the controls are going to be a little bit squished, but it is absolutely possible. Going live from your phone.
I've done it. The
in
layout
Studio.
works quite good. It's you can see what's happening. You can interact. I think if you were to try and host a round table, it might get a bit. Then it's going to get pretty tricky. But it does work, and I have a short on that which I could probably try and find.
Yeah, totally. We have a question from LinkedIn. Quick question. I just finished streaming with a local video and it didn't show up in the stream, but it was visible in the studio. Why? So I think you're talking, and please clarify if you can. I think you're talking about a local video versus uploading video through uploaded stream. So basically playing a local video from your computer on the stream, right? So this is something that definitely needs checking in with our customer support. We have 24/7 live human support, so they need to look at your specific setup. It could be some kind of a bug. It could be something specific about the video, so they actually need to look at the video that you used and see what kind of specifications it has, because not all videos are actually usable in Studio. Certain sizes, certain formats are not going to work. So they need to check that for you. However, my big recommendations for the future is to make sure that you upload videos to your Restream storage versus playing them from your local machine. It does sound like it's easier because you already have it on your computer, but the quality of video replay during your show, if you are taking it from Restream service already, if you uploaded it in advance and assign it to a specific scene, is just light years better. So local videos are there, they're good, they're usable, but uploading video and playing it from our storage is just way better experience for everybody. And it's much more foolproof than local videos. But I definitely recommend you checking in with our support because they can look at your specific case and tell you what was wrong there.
That really does sound like, if you're seeing it play in the studio, it really and it didn't hit the stream, that does sound like something that support needs to look at. I found that short that I was talking about how to use your phone. Should I put that in the chat?
Or maybe if you have time, maybe we can
if I have time.
Play it here.
Yeah, I'm really busy right now. I'm slammed right this second.
Slammed. So slammed. That is great. Love the questions. They keep coming. And there is some recommendations from folks already right here. So Nick is saying uploading the video as is the way better way to go. Agreed. Yes, that is very, very true. All right, let's see what else we have going on. 100 questions, guys. This is serious challenge. We are at about 10 right now. Like not even answer, just like 10 pinned. We need 90 more, so buckle up. That would also count the questions that you guys ask live. So we will still probably looking at another like maybe 7 questions towards the end when we will bring you in. But yeah, we are looking to reach that goal. And as a reminder, the goal is 100 questions live today. All right. God's news in the news. I created an HTML animation for the like, share, and subscribe encouragement. But how do I add it to a live stream? Great question about widgets, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Should we talk about widgets?
We can talk about widgets. Honestly, I feel like this is a slight dark area for me. So I would love to. I'd love to talk about widgets and learn a bit more about widgets.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so if you created that animation for like, share, and subscribe, if you like vibe coded it, which I'm assuming that's what you mean by created, like you basically build your own little counter and app, you can add it to our widgets. I will show you an example of a widget. So this is like a Polymarket. Let me put it like right here. like a little Polymarket widget. So that's pre-created. That's already basically like taking the source. But the whole point of widgets or browser source in Studio is that you can create something on the internet that has like a real-time changing things like scores for sports, Polymarkets, trading, information and things like that. And you can basically, it's going to change in real time, but you can display it in your stream. So kind of like news ticker style. So if you created your own animation for that, there's certain nuances about permissioning. So basically, in order for us to see the specifics, the specific likes and shares on your accounts, we basically have to have access, like your widget, your tool has to have access to your accounts, right? Like it has to be able to tell that, okay, you got a new subscriber. And then if that is working on your end, then just actually pulling that in through widgets should be pretty simple. But that's the trickiest part. So if it works for you already, the widgets part is very simple. You basically go to Studio, you go to Widgets tab, you add a new widget, and all you need to do there is to name it and to add the browser source link. And then you can display it on the stream.
Doesn't it need to be hosted somewhere? Like you don't upload code to the Studio. You upload browser sources or widgets are it's a reference link. So it refers to wherever you're hosting it. So if you have an HTML animation, I think that if it's not being updated live, in other words, it doesn't have a counter that needs to be constantly refreshing.
But it sounds like it is.
If it is, then yes, widget's the way to go.
Yeah.
This one says, I created an HTML animation for the like, share, and subscribe encouragement. That sounds like it's just a straightforward animation. And if so,
maybe
I would probably take it into like an MP4 converter and then upload it as a GIF or an MP4.
Just like this.
So I made this in After Effects. And it's
this right there. Yeah. So that's another way to do it. Yeah, absolutely. So I read the question as like you want it to be updated all the time. Like you want to.
Yeah. If it's like a live counter, then absolutely widgets is the way to go. You need to host it somewhere, right? So something like, is Vercel or what was the one? Where is it?
Vercel is the one that I used. Yes. Yeah. So Vercel allows you to basically create this animation and host it, and then you get the code from there, and then you put it into widgets. We are actually working on simplifying this whole process, and very soon, actually in just a couple of weeks, we will talk about using AI to build widgets directly in Studio. So basically, we will take care of all of that process for you, and what you'll be able to do is kind of like vibe code directly in Restream, saying, "Hey, I want this counter, I want this animation. I want this, fireworks or whatever." And you can actually create it directly in Restream and then display it on your stream. So it's going to make it a little bit easier. But right now, yes, there is a little bit of this extra steps for.
You see, there's a follow-up look. It isn't live.
Yeah, so, it isn't live.
Yeah,
okay.
I would say take it into.
Then just do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Take it into like an HTML converter. Now, what you might the thing you're going to get into here is alpha channels or transparency. And so it's probably going to turn up as like a white box with your animation on it. So that's another thing to look at, is to convert it into maybe a PNG sequence that is transparent. And then you can bring that into QuickTime or into editing software and to convert that into a ProRes with an alpha channel. This is what widgets is trying to solve. And it's probably why you want to do it that route, so that you don't have extra steps. But I suspect looking into the extra steps are going to create less headaches in the long run if it's not live.
Yeah, so here's this comment. I made a transparent widget container that is the size of the stream resolution, so that I can have a dedicated app that handles all 2 widget animations in the same single URL space.
That's
another
idea.
Great way to go about that. Absolutely. Yeah. I love that.
So those that don't understand it, cut and paste that, put it into your chatbot and have it explain it. All of these concepts, everything we talk about, you think that we knew about this just instinctively? No, it's a learning process, and I've been learning about all of this stuff as we go. I understand the back end of the TV and the broadcasting nature of it, but the coding things is new to me, which is why with widgets I was like, I don't feel like I'm quite qualified enough to really speak on it. But I think that I have rudimentary enough knowledge to help.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm just going to pull this one in because it's not a question, but a cute comment. Love the dark library color palette for both of your backgrounds. We matched the color by the code.
Kind of. Yeah, you went and stuck a nice bright neon sign in the background. I tried to.
But isn't that beautiful? Like how exactly the same brand of paint and exactly the same color looks different, right? Because of the lighting.
Hang on, I didn't paint the baseboard.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Oh, yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
the thing is, this is it's a pretty dark grey, so I only did one wall, and it's beautiful. It's Behr, Behr paint, really nice paint. I have to say, if I'm going to
Yeah.
paint a room again, but you're right. Anya had her studio professionally, created,
Painted.
and I like that background. But
It's
I've also
beautiful.
got a bunch of lights in the back.
Yeah.
There are two lights. I've got one light here, which is shining. Not just the one
Yeah.
that's hitting me here, but it's actually hitting. I've got another one hitting the wall.
The wall,
And
yeah.
you can't quite see, but I've got some plants and stuff there. And then I
Yeah.
have another one just up there that's actually. Ooh, it's hard to see. It's actually putting some light here.
Yeah.
It's a more bluish color.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
It's a nice. Yeah.
It's really, really amazing. Yeah. So if you want to ask us more questions about setups, lights, cameras, like anything gear, we did have 2 shows in the beginning of this year that you can watch.
Production.
Yeah, definitely ask us. We will share what we have in our setup. We can, our moderators can drop the links to the specific, gear that we have. So we'll happily share all of that with you because we want your streams to look awesome. That is the idea. Keeper of Veteran Nation. I'd like to see more ways to manipulate the scenes. I mean, move, resize the source. Sometimes things get cut off or things are shown I don't like. Honestly, that's the only reason I use OBS instead of Studio. You are right. Flexibility in OBS is a little higher than in Studio.
Yeah.
Studio has a lot more customizations now than it used to have. So depending on when was the last time when you used Studio, you might be surprised because we have things like customizable layouts. We even have certain layouts that allow you to move freehand. So I'm just going to quickly demonstrate this with Charles in our
That's
customized.
interesting.
I don't know why I did this, but so there's basically.
Well, we've been messing with it, haven't we? We've just recently.
We've been definitely playing with this. So there's like this freehand type, movements, and like you can do a lot of things by just like simply positioning.
That is a strange layout. What is that? Is okay.
That is
I would say the one thing that we don't have that would be pretty good, and I'm going to sort of call out our own product, is cropping.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to get us back to normality and reality. But yeah, so there's a lot more flexibility than what used to be before. So definitely check it out. But there is, cropping and resizing is still limited. We are working on that. And that's something that I definitely recommend to submit to ideas.restream.io. I'm going to post that little.
Who's going to find that caption first?
Who's going to find that caption first? Like it's
down the bottom somewhere.
Here we go.
Oh, you got it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I knew if I pressed it first.
I'm gonna get it up because it's an important link. Ideas.restream.io is a place to share your thoughts on what we need to build. It's also a place where other people share their ideas and submit their features, and you can upvote them. Our product team looks there every day. Our marketing team looks there every week for ideas for guides and for more kind of like materials and educational stuff. So definitely check this out and let us know that resizing the sources is something that would really make you move from OBS to Restream Studio. That usually gets everyone's attention, especially when you frame it this way. So good stuff.
I actually have literally just made a short on that you looked at yesterday.
Yeah.
About Restream, ideas at Restream.io. And
yep.
Yeah. I snuck it in as a little bonus at the end of a short. But it's definitely worth doing because genuinely, as a company, we look at all of the feedback. And we weigh up the pros and cons of everything that's asked for. There's obviously a balancing act between what can and should be made and priorities. But generally, things that get upvoted a lot, they get noticed. And you'd be surprised how few votes constitutes a lot. We're talking handfuls, handfuls.
We are getting very close to be ready to pull you guys in. So if you want to join and ask your question, your previous question or new question live, we should be able to do that. We are at 20 questions right now, and we will keep going for as long as we can. 20 questions, yes. Great stuff too.
You know what? Maybe I should start a timer, and we can only do 30 seconds to a minute on each question.
Yeah, let's try
And
that.
then you can stop me monologuing.
Yeah, we should like really speed up because I mean, in 26 minutes we took 20 questions. It's
Oh, that's not bad.
we'll need 100 minutes to take 100, right? Is it possible to have discrete names for wide and vertical YouTube streams? Would love to make it clear which one is which
Yes.
on the channel without having to rename in YouTube. I hear you,
Oh,
Cole,
boy.
the tour guide. Yes, it's a huge pain in the ass, and it is something that we want to improve. Currently, one of the reasons why it's kind of like slowing down is because we are waiting for YouTube to release the phase 2 of dual mode, dual orientation streaming, which eventually will just become one event. And based on your device, it will just change orientation automatically. This is where YouTube is heading towards. And eventually, that is the future of vertical and horizontal streaming at the same time. Instead of
And
being two different events, it will be one event that will not be
yeah.
split the audience. And just depending on the device, it will automatically adjust. They are working on it to bring it to the API for us. As soon as they are ready, which hopefully will be very soon, we will bring it in. That's why we're not like messing too much with those little nitty-gritty details for that. But I hear you, this is really something that we'll actually bring that up to our team, because maybe it's actually more.
Absolutely. Any meetings you happen to have with YouTube, that should definitely be mentioned. But
Yeah.
can I just say, the really important thing about this is not just the naming convention, it's the consolidated chat.
Yeah.
Once that's one stream. Now, am I right in thinking that Twitch is starting to dual stream?
Yeah, there's a question about that. Maybe we
Okay.
will simply jump into that if I can find
Segue.
this segue. Yes, it's Nick Moses. He's saying, when is Twitch dual streaming coming? So Twitch already announced that they are supporting the feature. We are working on it right now. I do believe that it is actually rolling out slowly. I do need to check with there's some kind of like a back end work that needs to happen for that to actually work reliably. But that is something that they announced a few weeks ago, and we are prepared to release it as well. It just needs a lot of testing because we want to make sure that we do it right. So within next couple of weeks, it should be launching. And once it does, keep an eye on our social media and on your email. We will definitely update you about that. Dual streaming on Twitch coming very, very soon.
You have to imagine that they're building a system that we then have to fit into and around, and so therefore they can make things exactly as they want. We have to fit around what they're doing. So
Absolutely.
it can take a little time to make sure that things are working perfectly and smoothly.
Question from Becca on X. What is your favorite feature of 2026 so far? You go first.
I know.
That should be very
I know.
quick.
I know.
Which one? Which one would that be? Which one?
I don't know if we have a proper name for it, but the live preview edit mode is 100% my favorite thing. It's
Yeah.
so important. It's so important. I am as excited about this as I was about local recordings. And I've used it and it works and it's great, and I can't wait for it to actually be a proper, complete 100% public release. It's so good. It means that I'm out of time.
But what is it? If you
Live edit preview.
live edit preview, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's
Did I
it.
not
That's
say
a really.
that? I thought-
No, you
anyway.
didn't. You were like all like hooky. You're so used to making hooks for shorts that you just like to leave it at a hook, and like the payoff will happen sometime later.
Yeah. Like less of a hook, more of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say from the ones that are released so far, like already out in the wild, go play with it, use it, is definitely new analytics. I love how they look. I love what I can do with Ask AI. I love how beautiful and clear it is. I love to compete with myself on every other stream to make sure I outperform myself in the previous one. Absolutely love analytics. Love that it now collects the live clipping views as well, and like gives me this realization of like this extra
I've thought of
views that I
another
get
one.
from clips. Oh, really?
Yeah.
But then there is one that is releasing soon that is also a little teaser, and it's kind of a little secret yet, but it's the one that's coming soon of 2026 is definitely something related to webinars and something related to professional streams for internal communications in internal communication tools like Slack.
I wonder whether
So-
people understand quite what a big enterprise tool Restream
Yeah.
is. I don't think that people really appreciate that we're not just catering to individual creators. This is actually an enterprise tool as well. So there's some very exciting things happening around there. One thing I didn't. Can I say another one?
Yeah,
That's actually
yeah.
been really the MCP, with the integration with the
Yes.
with the
Oh my
AI.
God, that's a big
That's-
one. Yeah. I love
because
that.
it's not using it as a creative tool, using it as an organization tool, because people like myself who are predominantly creatives with technical knowledge in a specific area, but not kind of coding knowledge, to be able to have an entity help me with organization and to set things up and to automate tasks, because I've always speaking about checklists all the time, but to then have those checklists automated, goodness, it's fabulous.
24 questions and going. Okay. I love this. Let's go. That's a good point. If somebody uploads the video to Restream servers, do you re-encode it so it is compatible with more surfaces? Good question. So we do not re-encode videos automatically. When you upload the video, basically we keep it exactly as it is. That's why there are certain limitations in terms of its size. So it's like compatible. So we basically give you the limits that will make it compatible with streaming, but we do not do re-encoding. So I think what you're asking is, like, can I upload a video and then send it like a different resolution or a different bitrate on different channels, right? Different platforms. It is actually a common request. It's actually very non-trivial and expensive to do. We do have a feature called transcoding that kind of sort of allows you to do that, but that's an add-on. But when you just upload videos to upload and stream, they stay exactly as you uploaded them, and then they will go live in the same resolution, format, and size and quality as you uploaded them. The only thing is, if you are using our dual output in Studio, the dual output will basically, if you use your layouts right, our Studio will adjust your layouts in such a way that, like, for example, you can show the video and you can have like speakers under it, so it will actually not crop it. But if you simply blast like fully maximized video on your horizontal and vertical channels, yes, then it will crop it in the middle. So it will not be adjusting the resolution. I hope I answered that question. I hope that makes sense. That's what you were asking. I don't know, Charles, if you have anything to add to this.
Actually, so, there are, I think this might be related to that video that was played in Studio locally.
Yeah.
I think I suspect what's happening there is that the codec is something that Chrome could understand, but couldn't be streamed effectively through the Studio. And that's why uploading it to the Restream server first we don't re-encode it. However, there are limits, as you said, to the size and to the dimensions, but also the codec needs to be compatible. Therefore, it will play from our servers, reducing any kind of overload on your machine, any headroom, any internet and processing that needs to happen on your machine. So what can happen in that instance is it looks absolutely beautiful in the Studio, on your browser. However, that then has to be uploaded at the same time as your other video feed. So your computer is sending your camera and it's sending that video that you've loaded into the Studio. That can cause some problems because then you're sending a lot more data, which is why we would always advise upload it to Restream first and play it through the Restream system, because then that processing is happening in the cloud at Restream's end. And it will also, if that codec isn't something compatible, then, because it could be that you're playing a really heavyweight file like a ProRes, HQ file, and that isn't going to stream very well. That means that the computer's going to have to try and transcode it internally, and so you're going to hit issues there. I wasn't going to get into all of that, but that's I suspect what may have been going on, but I don't know.
Let's keep going. Danger Zone. We do still want to see you live and ask your question in person, because I know you have a really cool setup and that's the opportunity to shine. Would a live subscriber count be considered a widget? Yes, absolutely. It is, and it will be counted as a widget. You can use existing solutions such as Streamlabs, Stream Elements. They integrate pretty well with our widgets. You can build your own if you're vibe coding and using AI. And very soon with AI widgets in Studio, you can build directly in Restream.
We've got a widget here. I haven't touched it for ages. Can I try it? It's called Shorts Views. I think it's got the views of our shorts on it. Can I try it?
Let's try it, but I don't know what it's going to do because
hang on.
Oh, here it is. Is it doing anything?
Do something?
It might be no, it is.
There you go.
Oh my God, that's great.
That is live. So that's how many views our shorts have got. Now I can move that around.
Yeah, you can have like a pretty freehand there. Yeah, I built it just for fun in Vercel. And this is basically connected to Restream YouTube, and I'm only asking it to count the views of our shorts, like something that Charles makes all the time, every day. Whenever he's not streaming, whenever he's not contained with some other work, he always defaults to making shorts.
This is true. First, like Sunday night, I'm thinking, what am I going to make tomorrow? And then Monday, I'm like,
absolutely. But so those are this is the counter that I built literally in 5 minutes. It's very, very simple. And that is a widget. Exactly. Good stuff.
So if someone goes and the point being, if someone goes and watches a short, that number will live update.
Yes. I think every 5 or 3 minutes or something like that is like not super live, but like in a few minutes it will. So yeah, watch it short. Question about TikTok chats. Very common question. Why I'm not able to read the TikTok chats? That's because TikTok API has that limitation. Unfortunately, TikTok does not share their chats with us through API. That applies to every other software or partner platform, such as Streamlabs or Stream Elements. If you're streaming with any other tool other than TikTok's native app or TikTok's own studio, the chats will be in a separate tab. There is a special preview of like TikTok. Here we go. Did you see? It's like it pulsed and like gave itself a little a little shimmy.
I was looking at you. I wasn't looking
someone
at
watched. Someone did watch. So yeah, that's the reason. As soon as TikTok opens up their chat messages in API, we will immediately bring them into the studio. For right now, the workaround is to keep that other tab open and look at it. That's what I'm doing for Instagram. It's the same story and the same reason. I do see your question, skofficial.com, that you have a good idea. And if you have a chance to share it, it's a massive idea. I would absolutely love to give you a chance to share it, especially if you jump into YouTube, because that's where we will drop the link to join us. But yes, this is the reason why you cannot see those chats. Is because TikTok currently doesn't share that data with us. And we're constantly working with them on bringing that in, but right now it's just an API limitation. If you keep bugging them and telling them that you will really need that feature, maybe that will speed the things up. But that's not on us. That is entirely on TikTok to make that decision and to make it happen. All right. Nick Moses says, can't wait until we can adjust vertical screen separate from landscape. Yes, making changes on in layouts and just kind of like basically making your own visual decisions, what kind of overlays go there, what kind of widgets go there, what kind of layouts, what kind of guests, separate between vertical and horizontal is on the horizon. We do have it in our roadmap. We want to do that. It's also a very non-trivial thing to get that right, but that's a great feedback. And ideas.restream.io is where you can upvote it to make it happen sooner. All right. Question about MCP tutorials. Are there any good MCP tutorials? I think there is one. Didn't you make one?
No, well, I did. Yes, although I glossed over a little bit on the some of the how-to, because ultimately it's going to depend on your own setup, and it's going to depend on your chatbot, and it's going to depend on what you're doing with it. So I would say the best way to learn is to have your AI talk you through it, how to connect, what information. What you can do is you can connect to the Restream MCP server and then say what functions are available, and it will list those for you. And you can say, well, which ones are useful for my workflow? This is what I do. And it can then help you with those integrations. I felt like I'm not really the person to start trying to make vibe coding tutorials. I think that there are an awful lot of those online. There's plenty of those that's not something that I would be able to communicate really, until you can explain it to a child. I don't think you understand the subject well enough. And I think I can tell you how to connect. I can tell you roughly bits and pieces, but.
Yeah, I was going to just show this real quick, the screencast. This is how you connect your MCP server to Restream. It's pretty simple. It's just like, it's a 20-second thing that gives you a good idea of like how to like accomplish that. So hopefully that helps. And I'm going to nuke this. Maybe I'll replay it just one more time. So it's very simple. You just go to your preferred solution, Claude, ChatGPT, and then just like we show here, you basically search for Restream, add it, connect, give the permissions for us to access. And then, of course, you have to have the Restream account already in order for this to work. So Restream account first. Hopefully everyone here has it. And then through your preferred tool, you find it and then you connect. So that's just the start. But then everything else that happens there, because it's conversational, like English language based thing, it's pretty simple. You basically, like Charles said, you can just start.
I don't think it has to be English either, though. Like your chatbot, you can understand, Hungarian and
exactly. That's very true.
It's natural language.
Ask it questions like, "Hey, what can I do with this MCP with Restream? Can I schedule streams?" And the answer is yes, you can. Can I, get my analytics? Can I pull my data from my previous streams? Like all of those things are possible, and you can basically, if there's some kind of limitation, if it hits something that it cannot do, for example, it currently cannot upload thumbnails for you because there's just some limitations in terms of how like images are traveling between your Claude and a Restream. So it's going to tell you like, hey, I cannot do that, but I can design it for you, and then I can give you the steps of how you can upload it on your own. So there's a lot of like back and forth there. So definitely play with it. Let us know how it works. If you find something strange while you're doing that, report it to our support or to ideas.restream.io. And
so the way I think about the MCP integration is that, let's say you've got a store and you can go into that store, you can browse around, you can buy things in that store, or you can send your robot to go to the back door to the warehouse entrance, the tradesman's entrance, the shipping and handling out the back. You need to give that robot very specific instructions, but you can ask the robot, how would you do this? Okay, go and do it. You can confirm with it. So it's like having access to the actual warehouse. You need to sort of understand and perhaps take more precautions. I don't know.
Yep. Let's try to answer a few more questions here, because after that we are approaching the time when I really want to start bringing people in with their cameras. I really love, so while we're still on MCP, I'm going to take this question from Willie Fantastic. When you use AI to analyze live Q&A, do you produce transcripts to feed to AI, or do you have a 3P MCP you use to analyze video content? Great question. It is actually text and transcript based. So most of the time, we do not have the opportunity to analyze our stream while we're still streaming because we're talking. We cannot look at the data. We have to.
We don't, but
we don't.
technically,
somebody could.
But clipping is looking at 10-minute chunks. It's analyzing 10-minute chunks.
But it still analyzes the transcript. It still analyzes the speech.
Yes.
That's why sometimes we get those reports of like, hey, I uploaded this video, I didn't get the clip. Why? Well, because there was no spoken language there, right? Like it's still very much linguistically and transcript driven. So
as is all of this. Video analytics. It's all based on
right.
Unless there are systems that will. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No, go
like there are systems that what they will do is they'll take a frame every X frames and they will analyze that as an image. So they can't say, oh, this is what's happening. They can say, there's a person right of screen, there's a chair, there's a bench, there's a window with a tree, but it can't say the person is arguing with another person off screen.
Or interrupting their co-host. At this frame, co-host 2 interrupted co-host.
Put the coffee down, Charles. No more coffee for you.
No, that was totally fine. That was great. But yeah, it is transcript based. I do believe that MCP analyzing video frames is the future because eventually transcript cannot always catch everything. And especially there are streams that are not very verbal, right? The gaming stream is a great example. Musical streams, especially if it's not like songs, right? Like if just someone is playing music. So eventually the future is going to move towards being able to analyze visuals. But I do believe that it's not yet there and it's not yet feasible in terms of making it work for everybody. Budget-wise, right now.
It's not just us.
Yeah, it's not just us.
That's it. That is an industry-wide, that's an AI processing. I mean, the technology is there, but imagine the processing of having to analyze, 60 frames every second. That's a lot of data.
So this is not technically a question, but it still needs to see the light of day. And Romario, Alexa, and the clipping team, you should see this. Clips is the best feature you guys have ever created. Not joking. I know. This is actually my favorite thing too, but it would not qualify for features released in 2026 because it went out in December 2025. If the question about favorite feature was in the past year, I would say clips.
December 25 to December 24, wasn't it? Hasn't it been a year? More than a year?
No. It was like literally the end of last year. So clips are going to celebrate their first 1-year anniversary, right, in around Christmas. So together with Christmas. Great feature. And we keep building on. So first it started with just clipping. AI would make highlights for you to automate your editing. Now there's live clipping, so clips are actually happening while the show is going, and now auto posting. So you don't have to have an extra producer to post clips. They will post themselves as long as you set the standards, such as score, lengths, and what platforms you want it to go on. And then you can just basically clip yourself and post while you're streaming without anybody extra behind the scenes. Love this. All right, next question. Let's just go ahead and drop because I see that Circuit FM asked a few questions. I see that we have Phil Sledge asking the question and, a few others. I do still hope to see Danger Zone. I mean, honestly, anyone who is in the chat right now, All right, Grant, let's do it. I promise that I
Let's
will give
do
you
it.
a very clear cue when that needs to happen. And it needs to happen right now. We are approximately 30, maybe 40 minutes away from the end of the show, and we would like to see you. So, Grant, please share the link to join our studio. Just a very quick housekeeping before we get to the real life questions. The link that you will get is a pairing link, so you can potentially connect your own channels and rebroadcast your question on your socials. You don't have to do it. You can simply enter studio by putting up your name and then joining us. First, you will appear in a so-called green room. It's actually a gray room because you will be black and white for us. We won't see like all the details yet, but we'll be able to see the preview as people are starting to fill up the spaces. We only have 7 spots because studio can only handle 10 guests at the same time. 2 spots are taken by me and Charles. We do have our co-producer Iñaki behind the scenes who will be helping us to pick the speakers. And then it's going to be you. So it's first come, first served. The first 7 people who will click the link and join us in studio with their camera will be the first ones we will take their questions live.
Honestly,
So,
would you join a live show?
yeah,
Do you think-
absolutely. With
like,
this setup, are you kidding me? I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna
I
look
think I
better
would
than a
too.
lot of hosts.
I think I
You
would
will too.
Yeah, I would say if you are going to join us, please turn off things on your computer that don't need to be on. Turn off Google Drive, turn off anything that syncs to the cloud that's going to use your internet at the back end. Close any apps and things that are going to be using any sort of processing power that you don't need right now. Close any tabs in your browser that you don't need right now. Things like that. And
Get headphones, otherwise you might get a little bit of echo. Let's see. Did we get the link posted? And
yeah, looks
also,
like Grant's posted it.
yeah, perfect. And also, if we can get that link on LinkedIn and on X,
Yep.
that would be awesome. Oh yeah, I see. It's going there. Restream Grant. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Can I answer a question while we're here?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a question.
It's God was in the news again. I'm using Claude. How can I have Claude do work for me? So this is why I didn't want to get into too much about the MCP. Is I don't know what work you need doing.
Yeah.
But the best person to ask is Claude. Genuinely, ask Claude. Hey, and you can say to Claude, ask me questions until you think I understand. So make it into like a Socrates. Is it Socrates mode? The Socratic method is about asking questions. Is that not right?
Yeah.
Or questioning things. So I think that you can say, teach me how to do it. Tell me what I can do here. This is my use case. This is my workflow. This is what I want help with. Because if someone, is just saying, how can I have it do work? Claude is probably the best person to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't have any brave people yet to join our stream with camera. This is so crazy because last time we did this, Matt and I demonstrated pairs, and part of the process was to invite people to pair their channels and join us as studio. We filled up the spots very quickly. Get brave, guys. You can join from mobile. You can join from your desktop. You can join in audio only mode. So for example, I'm just going to do this for just a second. So that is another way how you can show up. If you are not camera ready or you don't have a great camera or there is a lot of distractions in your background and you just don't want to show us everything, so you can actually join us with just voice. Just a little pro tip. We are going to take a few more questions because we're still gearing after.
I'm just playing with stuff. With stuff.
Come back.
Sorry.
Come back. There is this question. The AI making shorts out of the stream is definitely very cool. It is super cool. Question about chats on RTMP. Afternoon Restream team, will there ever be a live chat on RTMP streams? When I do IRL streams, I use the Osmo Pocket 3 and on-screen chat is not available. That is true. RTMP is a one-way street. If you're streaming through RTMP, through a custom RTMP as a channel, that basically means that we do not use the API connection that we have with the platform. So as a preferred partner and official integration with YouTube, Facebook, X, and many other platforms, that API is what allows us to fetch data from those platforms and then bring it into Restream. But RTMP is basically a workaround that, if we don't have an integration, but the platform can take the RTMP source, right? then you can actually send that video out there, even if there is no connection or integration there. What I would like to understand is why not use Studio and actually connect your main channels? It looks like you are on YouTube, at least since you're asking the question from YouTube, and just connect YouTube through API. I understand that you have some camera to support your in real life streams, but you can use it as I believe, like I'm not familiar with Osmo in particular, but is it something that you could just use as a virtual camera that feeds into Studio?
No, it's a specific piece. An Osmo Pocket is they're like little it's like a camera with a gimbal on it. But I wonder whether you could use the Restream chat app. Would that work?
Not with RTMP. So the whole point is
okay.
that in order for us to get chats into Restream Chat, whether it's in Studio or as an app, we need to make sure that you connect YouTube through Toggle, not do RTMP and then get the key and put it in there, because the RTMP key is a way to push content. It's a one-way street. Like, that's the best way to describe it. You just push it out to that platform because for whatever reason, there is no integration yet. And if there is integration through API, then you need to toggle the channel. And then that's the only way for you to be able to read chats, get them back, and even chat and respond back with text.
So I guess the workaround then is to use if you're doing IRL, use your phone or mobile device as the Studio, connect the Pocket, the Osmo Pocket as the camera.
Yeah. Yeah,
which presumably is being used as a live camera. I can only imagine.
It's something that you can probably do, but you definitely you need to play with the setup of how to make sure that you go to Studio, you initiate stream from Studio, and you toggle the channels, not through RTMP. That's the only way.
It doesn't mean it's not possible. I just can't necessarily think of a solution right this second. Yeah.
That's really good. All right, Circuit FM from 2 different places is asking, will there be an SRT or an embed player option for non-business accounts in the future? So unlikely, because both of those features are professional features, right? Like SRT is a very specific protocol that is mostly used by media and TVs, and like that's just typically used by teams and organizations. And embed player is something that also has like additional infrastructural costs for us. So basically, when you stream to YouTube, you can stream to 1 million viewers, and YouTube basically takes care of that infrastructure because it's a giant platform that's designed to draw viewers, and they happen to be owned by Google, so the servers is not a problem. And when it comes to your website player, when we give you that player and embed, however many people are watching, that is basically costing us cash, right? So that's why those players are tiered depending on how many viewers you're going to have. You can have one tier that is like up to 1,000 on business plan, and then on enterprise, you can actually expand that to many more viewers. But because it is associated with certain costs for us, it travels into those business and enterprise plans. And SRT, for now, is just something that most of the time businesses and media companies and teams request. So that's why it is sitting in that plan. But it's an interesting idea of maybe SRT is something that we could potentially kind of like play with, but like the website player is something that we basically have to pay for each viewer in order for you to deliver your content to them. So that's what's driving that cost. Good question. What else? So Phil Sledge, who is not joining us with his camera, I was absolutely expecting that because I know you're a streamer. I know you get great content on X. The widgets create with AI is a great fun for pulling in rolling tickers across like the latest weather or news in your niche. Mm-hmm. That is a wonderful use case for basically widgets, right? You can create scrolling tickers like the one that we're running right now, ask your question in the chat, but that's static, right? Like if you want to actually update your stream automatically, like imagine like feeding news or feeding posts from X of someone you follow, and you can kind of like do this reactive streams. That's a great idea to use widgets for that. And yes, hopefully very soon you'll be able to build those with AI directly in Restream. And that is, that is something that we would love to see in action. So if you build those widgets and you want to share with us your examples, DM us. I would like to see how you use it. It's really, really always interesting.
Do you remember we have a gentleman called AJ Singh who has a wrestling show. I'm surprised he's not here with us today. He has a great setup. I'd like to say.
Yeah.
And he and I chatted on LinkedIn. He asked me some questions about his setup.
Yeah.
So if you're out there, come and join in. Come and talk to me in IRL, as it were, sort of.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, let us know. Let me see if I can drop this link one more time. I don't know which. I definitely can drop it on, yeah, YouTube and Facebook and even LinkedIn. Ooh, that's good. So this is a way to join us in studio directly with your camera or without your camera. You can do it like this with audio only and ask your question live in real time right here in front of us. Is Red TV being considered for a future channel option? I have never heard about Red TV. Have you?
No, where's that? Oh, Rad TV.
Yeah, Rad TV.
No, I haven't heard of Rad TV.
Yeah,
Wait,
I've
is
haven't.
it? Hang on, let me just
I
look
haven't
it up. I
heard.
know it
But
sounds
I
familiar.
can definitely give you a quick breakdown of how we consider and like what would basically make us potentially integrate. We do need to see some evidence of traction, right? Like we need to see that there's a lot of creators who are asking for the channel. So again, ideas.restream.io is a place where you can upload those requests, and if there are other people who need this channel, and you kind of like teaming up and uploading, that gets attention of our product team. Second thing is we need to see the audience there. Like we want to make sure that we're integrating with platforms that will deliver viewers for our creators. Because if we put engineering time and development resources on integrating into platforms where no one is watching, that is kind of taken away from improving the features and building things that people actually need. So the size of users, viewers, basically the audiences on those platforms, and how many creators are asking for that integration to happen are the main core drivers. We are always looking for emerging platforms. We do want to not miss the next TikTok. So if there's something unique and interesting about the platform, you can definitely reach out to us, pitch it to us, let us know. Ideally, that should be done by people who build the platform, right?
It
But if
looks like
there's
it's AI first. It's an AI first,
okay,
Gen AI first platform. But
got you. Might be interesting angle. Might be some emerging thing. But yeah, that's how we're thinking about it, and that's how we're looking for next integrations. I would love to consult with someone at Restream on our main 2 use cases in OBS to see if we can migrate our 5 platform live stream to studio. The best place to consult with someone, it kind of depends on whether you're looking for like really like big enterprise solution because you're a large team and a large organization. In that case, you need to talk to sales. They can build custom plans and they can give you like really detailed demos and walkthroughs. If that's something that you're looking more on a self-service type basis, so you're looking at our professional or maybe business plan, but nothing higher, the best way to consult is to reach out to our 24/7 live support chat. They're real humans, they're streaming experts, and a lot of them are very technical and very knowledgeable. They really know their stuff, so you definitely should start to chat with them, ask your questions. They will provide resources, qualify any kind of like address any questions that you have, and potentially even test with you. So kind of like depending on which plan you're on, you can get like more sophisticated and involved help with that. But it's definitely possible to move from OBS to Restream Studio. I mean,
I think,
almost all
yeah,
things
yeah.
are now there. So
But
it's
also integrate any production systems that you have right now. I see you're a weather channel. Any production systems you have right now can integrate with the back end of Restream as well, just purely for distribution, but also move any productions that you have into the studio. You'll be in good company. We have a lot of people, Robin Hood, NASA. I know you rattle off the names. There's an awful lot of companies that are using Restream backend for a lot of their distribution and the studio for a lot of their productions.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Now, the question from so this is just Circuit FM clarifying the widgets one more time. I use Stream Elements to add my code to, then I generate a web address and then add that address to Restream widgets. Very simple way to do it. It works the same way with Streamlabs widgets. I did use Streamlabs widget for live subscriber shout out when we demonstrated widgets. Super simple. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And I'm like not a coder at all. So it's, getting those ready to use solutions is probably the best way to do those dynamic widgets when you're trying to show subscribers likes, new kind of like reactionary stuff on your stream. So that's a really good idea. Question from Sean on LinkedIn. Webinars are brand new. What is your favorite feature? Webinars is something that we are working on to release very soon. It's a brand new way to do it. It's basically for businesses who want to like do the RSVP, follow-ups, recordings, and actually have like, well, think of Zoom webinar but with the quality of Restream Studio, right? Like full TV production webinar where you look like $1,000,000. You have all your overlays, you have chats, you have interactive things, and all of that with RSVP links and basically inviting people over as your webinar guests. And then you can distribute recordings and follow up with those people. You can bring remote speakers and panelists, basically build out your whole webinar like you would do a show in studio with scenes, but with the webinar features of basically collecting, generating leads, and so on. It is still in progress. We are rolling it out slowly. It's going to be testable pretty soon, and we will have a dedicated stream next week to talk about how to stream into your Slack for internal communications. Very new thing, also kind of like webinar mode related. Great question.
I think my favorite feature on that is that a lot of webinar stuff seems to be about the event, whereas when you're actually at the event, that's where it needs to be really slick. And so I love the fact that Restream is making that part, that really crucial part, the experience of being at and of running a webinar, making it really slick, bringing everything that's been learned about making a studio and a professional studio for people to use, which is simple to use. So the idea is that it's a professional studio, but it's also, with that Apple-like simplicity that things work and things are easy to use. And I think that for me is the killer function.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so many more questions, and I think we have our first live caller. And since it's the first person who was brave, we'll just bring them in. It's Dave. Hello, Dave. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
That's awesome. So you're the first and brave person. See, guys, it's possible. It's not that scary. And you have a great setup. Look at your microphone, look at your background and everything. Welcome to the show. What's your question?
Well, I was the one asking about Claude working with the. I was thinking about, because there's all of these things that I have to do when I podcast daily. Entering the lower thirds, entering the ticker, all that stuff that I have already done. I just have to cut and paste it over. If Claude can do that for me, I'm going to let it.
Yeah.
100%.
As you should. So currently, just to answer your question real quick, currently the controls in Studio are not yet available through MCP server, but that is because we have not finished that work yet. That's on us. Our team is working on bringing Studio controls to Claude as well, because I agree, this is the biggest unlock right there, right? It's one thing to schedule the show. It doesn't take that long to schedule the show from the Restream dashboard, but to build the scenes, to add the lower third, to add the graphics, to create the layouts, to make sure to make notes, right? All of those things are the ones that we are looking to bring. So definitely stay tuned for that, because that is where we're moving. That is the next step in the evolution of controlling your Restream from Claude and ChatGPT.
And to sort of answer that question also is that a stream happens in several parts. There's the before, the during, and the after. And I think that at the moment, Claude is most useful for the before and the after, and then the during is actually it's on you right now. So prepping your stream is probably where it's most useful, but not in the studio, like you say, Anya. We don't have access to the studio just yet.
No, that's exactly what I was hoping for. All that setup. It takes me a long time I get all the slides and all the scenes. And if Claude can do work for me, I'll do something else.
It will be. It's definitely that is absolutely where this is going. Absolutely. But this is pretty new stuff. Just if you think about the speed at which AI is developing in general, and so we're sort of reacting to all of that, and so that's definitely on the roadmap. Those are things that will be coming, but you have to also make sure. Once you're giving an AI access to certain things, you have to make sure that it's safe and secure, and you don't want it just sort of going live for you or going rogue. So, also there's a certain amount of, you need to look at certain things. If AI is writing and doing things for you, you want to make sure that they're factually accurate, that there's nothing in there that shouldn't be there. So there are always just sort of slight, safety and security concerns that you might want to take into consideration when giving access to places where it can, go live.
Yeah, totally. Yep. Well, thank you so much, Dave, for being brave and joining us in studio. If you find us on social media, send us a DM. I will try to get you something, like a little gift, because you were so brave and you were the first one to join. So thank you so much.
But also maybe shout out your channel and your podcast.
How can people find you? What can they watch?
It's all you have to do is just type in God's News in the News. It's make sure apostrophe between the G and the S, and you will find me. I will pop up right at the top of every search. Charles, you seen me yet?
I am.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Absolutely.
I told you.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's awesome.
Here we go. I can bring it up and
yeah.
We'll actually show. Here we go. In this layout, they can see your background, so they can actually, really beautiful setup, by the way. Really good stuff.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Cheers. I will get us back to Q&A. No, that was good. That was excellent. See,
amazing
like people
stuff.
have amazing
What a
setups.
fantastic setup. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful sound, lovely sound. He's had the microphone, great mic discipline, lovely. It's such a joy for me.
Yeah, totally. A few more from chats, and you absolutely can join us live. I see you, James Hicks. I know you have a great setup too, so why don't you show it to the world? Will you be able to add automatic hookups for things like Truth Social, Getter, Meow, Rumble, and Meow, Meow, and Vocal? We do have integration with Rumble already. You can connect it through API, and actually it is it works just like YouTube and all other major platforms. I do not think that we will be connecting to Truth Social anytime soon. And the other ones, I'm not super familiar with them. But again, the logic is the same as when someone was asking about Rad TV. How big is the audience? How many people are watching? How many creators are asking to connect it? Ideas.restream.io is a place to ask and upvote those platforms. We do have a whole section in our feature requests for integrations, and that's where those requests can go.
So MeWe is a social network, but I don't know if you know this, but MeWe was a poem written by Muhammad Ali. Do you know about this?
Oh, no, I didn't know that. No.
It's literally, I believe that's the sum total of his poem. Me, we. Anyway, side note.
That's awesome.
But yeah, MeWe is a social network.
Very, very cool. All right. Let me see. There were more questions there. I see that some people are like, thank you. We will definitely consult with sales. And here's James Hicks saying, good to see you, Anya. Good to see you. Join the studio. That's the opportunity. So there's some follow-ups about this whole like IRL stuff. So I don't know, Charles, like if you had a chance to read them, because they're like kind of like slightly bigger parts. But
I'm sorry, I haven't. I was just reading some other. It's a follow-up to the. Is it pinned? Let me have a look.
It's not pinned. Let me actually. It's basically the.
A lot of comments for me to go through.
yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of comments, and we need to get them pinned to actually showcase them. But it's this one from. Let me add some info. I copy the Restream Studio URL key and input into the OMSO Pocket app. It's the Pocket app, which then allows me to go live. On my phone, I can select the channels and chat from all platforms. So it sounds like
using the Osmo Pocket app as the sort of RTMP source to feed into Restream, which will then multi-stream it.
Yeah. So, I guess that way. So, and then the clarification is so I can monitor everything from the browser, but I like you said, it is a one-way street to the viewers and they cannot see the live chat. That's because you're selecting it as an RTMP. If you went to, on your phone to Restream Studio and selected YouTube as a destination instead of getting the RTMP key from your YouTube, then your chat would show up. So
it does feel like maybe the Osmo app is basically being, the studio or OBS in this instance. And so if their app isn't doing that integration for you, then that's a case for finding a way of getting the camera. And I wonder whether, I don't know how that app works, but I wonder whether the Osmo has locked it down so that it can't be a live source for anything other than their own app. I don't know. I'm afraid I'd have to look into that.
Yeah, I love that. Danger Zone is asking, can you please offer call-ins again? I will be there. I just dropped the link, but now I understand that your question is not about remind me about the link. It's do it next time when you are available.
Right.
Yes, we will do that again because we absolutely we'll love to hear from you. Would love to see you. The Ask Me Anything type shows are designed for you, so you could ask your questions and even describe your use cases, like what we were just talking about, right? Like the IRL streaming, the controlling your studio from Claude and ChatGPT. Like all of those things are extremely interesting for us to hear because we want to know how you stream, what do you usually do. This is something that we would definitely love to repeat. So that is definitely going to happen again.
We could just like every time you and I are going live, we could say like, "Hey, we're going to get through our topics, and then we'll do the Q&A, and you're welcome to join us."
Yeah.
Like, why not? I think it's fun.
So there are some questions. We promise to take as many as we can, so we'll keep going. So live streaming on M2 Air from the UK, but had some dropped frames. Is that due to my laptop or internet setting in Restream? I see that Grant already kind of took that question and said that generally dropping frames are related to your network quality or computer resources. So basically, it could be both or one of those. The best way to answer that specific question, because it is featuring your setup, is to talk to our live support. 24/7 humans will investigate. They will ask you to open up your console. They will test your internet speed. They will look at your specific settings. If you are using something like, it's a little unclear if you're using Studio or if you're using OBS or an encoder. If you're using an encoder, there's like a parade of settings, too many settings in there where you can potentially set your bitrate too high. And that is something that the AND platform will not accept. It could be something related to a few other tweaks. And the folks in our support are the best ones to answer those questions because they can look at exactly what you have going on.
I think it depends on what peripherals you have connected to your laptop. Let's say you're using a DSLR through some sort of capture card. If you're sending a 4K signal in, then your computer has to change that signal to 1080p in order to stream it. And then if you're then sending it the 4K signal and you're doing local recordings, it's sending the 4K stream and it's turning that into a 1080p signal to broadcast and to record live. So there is a sort of, like you said, a parade of settings, even associated with the studio, that you need to sort of walk through. But,
too many settings.
Ultimately, the best advice is make sure that you turn off everything you don't need, especially anything that is syncing with the cloud, be it Google Drive, be it anything that's updating live. Turn it all off and don't work on Wi-Fi if you have a wired connection. You're going to get a far more robust connection if it's wired, because of the way that Wi-Fi works and sort of works in bursts, I believe. So
very good stuff. Question about web cameras we are using. I invited questions about gear, so here it is. Go first, Charles. What's your camera?
I'm sorry. Hey, which webcam camera are you guys using? I have a Sony ZV-E1, which is a full-frame Sony camera. It's a low-end sort of prosumer, I suppose you would call it. I have a 50mm lens because a nifty 50 is the closest to the human eye, but it does mean that I actually, when I'm sitting, I'm actually quite, like this would be a more comfortable place for me to sit, but because Anya, you're a little bit further away, I'm not quite at my desk right here. So I have, and then I have the HDMI live output from that going into an Elgato capture card. I do have several capture cards. The Elgato is the one that I tend to use because I like the color. I like the colors that come out of it. I am actually using a live LUT, which is a LUT lookup table, to give this sort of look. And I actually have a ProMist filter to give us sort of this kind of softness in the background. It's a little bit more flattering on my rapidly aging skin. That's the camera that I'm using. My microphone is, what is this one? I have a shotgun microphone here going into a Focusrite Scarlett audio capture card, and then those two things are being combined in the studio. And you have?
And I have, drumroll, FX2 full frame. That's a Sony camera. It's also a DSLR. And
I can't believe you don't know this off the top of your head. Look at you reading this. You can see who loves this stuff and who sees it as a tool. So.
You know why why I opened this like gear list is because the next thing I was going to say, I know my camera. The next thing I was going to say is the lens, and I did not remember. So I did have to look up.
35.
It is 24-70. Actually, it's a Sigma zoom Sony. I believe that's the one that we kept. We considered another Sigma 24 to 70 2.8 L mount, but we went with 24 to 70 zoom Sony. Like that's the one.
What's the F number? What's the aperture? So you said the one was what was the
FF?
other one? Yeah.
Sigma 24 to 70 millimeters 2.8 zoom Sony. That's the one that we have. I actually have a little link for it. So yeah, the lens is the one that I'm like most like floaty about.
There are a couple of numbers on a lens that you need to look at. There's the millimeters, which is the zoom effectively of that. So if it's got a this to this, then it's a zoom lens. If it's a prime lens and it only says 50 mil. So this is f2.8. So the F number is how wide the lens can go in terms of the iris, the aperture.
That's the one.
So the more light it can let in. So mine is a 1.8, which means it will work in darker environments, but also a wider aperture means a fuzzier background. Your bokeh is more pronounced. So you see how my background, see how blurry mine is. Is that probably a little more blurry than yours because yours is 2.8.
2.8.
There you go. Look, he knows.
That's the number.
So, and I have a 1.8. So mine is a faster lens.
Yep, absolutely. And of course, there is more to that setup. So in order to get your camera to work in studio, you do need capture card. There are a few other things with LUTs as well. I do use LUTs in addition to that. And of course, lighting is another big thing that makes camera look the way it does. So if you're going to for this specific look, we actually have two shows, Gear Show 1 and Gear Show Episode 2. We do have a cut down of those where we not only break down all the gear that we have on our YouTube channel, but we also show you exactly. I literally walk with my phone as a second camera, which is a feature of Restream Studio, and like show you exactly the setup and how it is hooked up. And then Charles did the same with his setup. So if you are going for this exact look, there is an opportunity to replicate it 1-to-1 by just watching
Budget
that
Charles
show.
made an appearance as well.
There was also a budget Charles, which showed like what a lot of people use and like what like the bare minimum that you can like actually get started with, and how using your iPhone as a camera is a better way to go live than the web camera that is in your computer.
So I actually made that point that using a $500 laptop works fine, except the camera is ropey. So we all have a smartphone in our pockets. Use the smartphone as the camera, and I actually plugged it in. The reason I plugged it in is so that it was powered. And also it was on a PC, so I then had to have some extra little software to see my iPhone as a device, and it worked pretty good actually. And just with a couple of lights they were like, I got them from like Home Depot. They're like work lights, and I just pointed them at the walls and what have you, and it made for a much better system, much better looking setup.
Yep. Reluctant Creators is working on unlocking some abbreviations for us. API, all points integrated.
Really tough, more push.
Really tough, more push. This is really, it's really funny. Our team is actually real-time messaging protocol, but this is great. And all points integrated is the API basically.
That does remind me in television, there's, in the UK and much of Europe, we have PAL/CCAM as the format. And then in the US, it's NTSC. And the joke in the UK was whenever you got materials from the US that were NTSC, the joke was that it stood for never twice the same color, because every time you got something, you never knew what skin tone the person was going to have. That's really funny.
That's great. Love that. Do you have affiliate links for Restream? We do. When you log into your Restream and when you find your, when you're on your dashboard, if you look to the lower left corner, there is a little link that says referral program. And from that place, you can actually access our internal referral program. It's a little link that you can share in your content, and it gives your first new subscriber, so someone who has not been subscribed to Restream yet, who's a new customer for us, a $10 discount, $10 off their plan, whatever the plan they choose. It's a one-time thing, but it's a nice little gift, and it does give you a reward for every new subscriber you bring to Restream. It's a very simple program. There are some minimum requirements, like you need to collect a certain amount, I believe it's $50 before you can get a payout. But it's a super simple program. And we do have another more robust program for people who are kind of like referring and affiliating at scale. It is running on Partner Stack, and Restream support is the best place to ask for that link, and they can set you up with that as well. Those are kind of like recurrent commissions, and those are designed for people who are like promoting products at scale, right? Like whose whole business is built on affiliate links. But if you're just wanting to refer friends and family, Restream internal referral program is the best way to go. Good stuff. And I see that Grant already dropped that link in there. It's restream.partnerstack.com. That's the one that is like more robust, like that requires you to there's certain minimum requirements. You have to refer certain amount of people per month, and then internal. Grant, maybe you can find the internal Restream referral program from our dashboard, because we cannot leave this account. I cannot leave Studio and go to the dashboard, because then I will not see you and I will not see Charles, which I don't want to do because I love seeing Charles. All right. So I tried every broadcast. I mentioned that I'm using Restream. Yeah, that's a great way to go. So referral program is the best thing for you. Reluctant creators, anybody using a MacBook Air, which is with an external screen, which is display link, not display port. That display is using your computer's processing and graphics to drive that screen. That is, that is true. When you are using MacBook Air, it is not a very powerful computer, and especially when you are connecting your external monitor. Maybe, actually, right now, I had this conversation with Lawson, someone on my team, and actually someone who runs referral program and funnels and landing pages. But yeah, we had this conversation about like why my computer sometimes is struggling, even though I have a MacBook Pro, right? But that's because I have a bunch of displays. I have this big screen that I use for chats and for like some other relevant information, like when I pulled up that lens that I'm using. I also have my camera with teleprompter. I do not use teleprompter, but it's a cool way that sometimes I can put things on in that teleprompter and just kind of like talk to my audience, looking them directly in the eyes. And then there's my original computer. So it's 3 displays. It's a lot of additional processing power. And if you have MacBook Air, and especially if things that you're showing maybe are videos or something like very dynamic, very heavy, that can create certain difficulties for sure. MacBook Air would not be my first choice for streaming with any browser base or any solution, to be honest. You do need a little bit more power in order to run flawless and reliable live streams. So MacBook Pro would be something that I would recommend.
Absolutely, yeah. Depending on what it is you're doing, of course. Like if you were just to use one screen, then yeah, I think that makes it makes a lot of sense. Actually, that's a really good point. I actually have a MacBook Pro, but it's closed, and then I have a hub, and I have 2 monitors. I've got a 4K monitor, I've got a 1080 monitor, and then I have a third that I have an iPad being run, a really old iPad being run through a cable to my teleprompter. And the teleprompter, as you say, I use that when I'm recording videos, and I can't ever remember an entire script. But you also use it when we're streaming because I have it mirrored. So I'm actually looking at the studio up here so that I can see you. It's a reminder to look at the camera, because otherwise I'm like looking down and looking around. But yeah, that's a very good point. The amount of, I did say peripherals, so I I kind of meant screens as well there, closing down things you don't need. So yeah, that would be ideal.
Yeah, absolutely. We are 5 minutes away from wrapping up. So this is your absolutely last chance to join us with video. And I see that Grant again dropped that link into our studio. So if you want to say hi, you can do it with camera. You can also do it with just audio only. So this is how you will appear as just like audio circle if you don't want to show up, but you want to ask your question with your voice. So it's literally just last 5 minutes before we wrap up. So we'll see if we have another taker, another brave person. It's really funny how people today are a little more shy, because sometimes they just like fill things up. But we definitely should do this again, and we'll announce it way in advance. It was kind of like a last minute decision that we want to do Ask Me Anything and Q&A. So yeah, we actually went through. I did take a few questions that I didn't pin. So I think we are at something close to like 40 questions right now. So we're not
what's been in the news? What's been in the news? Anyone react to Jack Conti saying having annoyances about algorithms, how it's all being TikTokifying, or anyone watch Kai Cenat's Streaming University? The fact that he multi-streamed that wasn't just Twitch. He did it on YouTube and he did it on Twitch. What else has been in the news?
Why is that a big deal for him to stream it on Twitch and YouTube at the same time? Is that the first time he did that?
Well, he's sacrificing exclusivity for reach, isn't he? I believe it's the first time. Yeah. One wonders whether Twitch maybe didn't sweeten the deal enough for him, or maybe he's looking at more expanding his audience and foregoing perhaps a payment. That I can't speak on. I just thought it was interesting that we have been harping on about multi-streaming for many, many years and how it is the way forward. And it seems to work very well for a lot of creators, but then there are a few that sort of dip their toes in and out. And I think that actually he's already announced that he's doing it again next year. So I think it just speaks to me that it is the way to go, was my feeling on that. I don't know.
I did find a question that I missed. So let's get to it real quick. Thanks for the answering for the local videos. That was the question that we started with early in making a full circle here. What are the size limits for uploading? I did find that information for you. I am going to go ahead and just share the screen with pre-recorded streaming pricing. So basically the uploads, that's something that allows you to stream pre-recorded videos as well, but that is also controlling the size of your videos. So depending on your plan, you can have up to 2 hours of upload library. That is our $39 plan. And then it goes up from there. You go to 4 hours and you go to 12 hours of upload library on our media plan. So those are the sizes that you can use for pre-recorded streaming, but it also controls like how many videos and how many minutes, how many hours you can upload to replay within Restream Studio. So it's the same upload library for pre-recorded streaming and
it's like a video library.
Exactly. So that's how we're thinking about this right now. Instead of counting the gigabytes or counting the number of videos, we learned from our community that a lot of people have a lot of smaller videos, and some people have just one large file, right? Like one large video that they want to either pre-record and stream or play to create some kind of like a hybrid stream. Like imagine if we recorded something earlier, played you an hour of demo, and then came back here live for Q&As. Like, so all of those things are coming from that upload library. And those are the limits that you have depending on your plan. And that's something that you can get as an add-on, I believe, if you are a new user, if you are using some of our legacy plans. So those same limitations are integrated in your plan already. The easiest way to check is to go to your Restream dashboard and look at your plan in billing. And then you can see exactly if you have like older plan, if you've been a customer for a long time. But if you're new, this is the library for upload and stream that we offer today. Great question. Let's see.
I think that's really nice. That's a nice way of looking at it, actually. What's in terms of time rather than
Yeah. The hours is something that you almost always know. And like how long is my video? How big is my video? I have to like really dig in the settings and understand how many gigabytes, right? How many videos?
I know.
Yeah, you do.
I know because that's kind of what I do. But I can understand how, and I think the time it works very well. I actually have a system that I use called Brevity that I use for doing captions and certain things, and that doesn't that gives me minutes per month.
Yeah.
And I find that far more useful to know, okay, how many shorts am I making this month? Am I going to be using that captioning service for that particular thing? Oh, I'm never going to hit that limit. It was funny, before I got into the studio today, I did notice that we're getting quite full, as our account is like 72% full. So we might need to start clearing out some old things.
Yeah, totally. And Reluctant Creators are clarifying that Elgato Teleprompter is a display link. Hence, you can have the extra screen, but your computer is driving that. It is. Yeah, it's definitely a display link, and it does add a little bit of a load on your computer, and especially if it's tiny, like MacBook Air, which is it's beautiful. It's a beautiful machine. I actually wanted MacBook Air but for live streaming at scale, it had to be Pro. So I'm dragging this big computer everywhere I go, just to be able to run this show for you. And
I think the point is that it will work. It does work. It's just the lower you go in tiers in terms of equipment, the more you need to actually just give some time to thinking about signal flow on that particular equipment.
Test because there's a lot of different factors. There's a network, there's your internet connection, there's what kind of show you have. Like if it's just a solo thing, when it's just you, or versus when you're bringing in a bunch of screen shares, like what we're doing here. Like we obviously share our screen a lot. We bring in videos, we bring in guests. Sometimes we drop the link in the chat so you can join us from the audience. So those are all the factors of how many different things are running at the same time, and what's on the background, right? If you're running your vibe coding commands, that is also eating up a lot of your power. So like, or maybe you're playing a game, or maybe you're watching videos that you're reacting to. All of those factors will determine whether your stream will go smooth, depending on your machine.
Bringing in a bunch of sources into OBS or Wirecast, and if that started to slow down, you'd be like, oh yeah, I can understand why that's slowing down.
Yeah,
it's really no different. Yeah.
All right, good vibes all around. I see that people are sending us a lot of unconditional love, like Michael, and people are saying thank you for the show and for all the questions. We are so happy. We're going to wrap up for today, but let us know if this format really works for you in the future. If you would like to join us in the future, definitely let us know if we would like if we should continue this format with creating space for you to join and ask your question in the studio today. We are anything you want to add before?
No, I've really enjoyed it. I wish we had a few more people call in. That would have been nice, but it was fantastic to actually demonstrate how seamless it is to bring someone in live and have a good chat with them. And as ever, it's always interesting to see a lot
without
of
any prep. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's really valuable to have this connection and to be able to take questions from an audience on a sort of on a longer format, rather than we're not just cherry picking. We're trying to answer on pretty much everything that's happening, and this is really fabulous for us to know what it's like, what the mood is, what people are thinking, and
my question is why aren't there more questions? This is a good question. We actually there were a lot of comments too. Like, I will actually look at the stats of the stream after and see how many actually messages we received, because not every comment was a question, right? Like, some were just really nice things that people were saying. So in terms of questions, we did get to 35, which is not bad for an hour and a half show. And in addition, we had that one question asked live by Dave. So thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone who chose to spend this time with us today and ask your questions. Thank you, Grant, for being an awesome mod. You had a lot of work to do today with dropping the links and checking the channels and responding to folks with their technical questions and requests. We had Romario on live clipping today. It is starting to auto-post starting next week, but today we're still kind of checking. So there are some real humans behind the scenes on auto-posting before it becomes our way to go on the Restream channel. So check out our clips if you want to see them in action. And Iñaki was our co-producer today. And thanks for being my co-host.
Well done to you, holding it all together, holding all of the thoughts in your mind whilst reading and presenting. You're very good at it. Well done. Thank you to you.
All right. Cheers, everybody. See you next Monday.